Welcome to another live Q&A session from the studios of Digital DJ Tips, the leading online DJ school. I'm Phil Morse. I'm with you for the next, 45 minutes. Depends how much you need help, because for the next 45 minutes, it's open house at the school. You don't need to own a course. You don't need to be one of our students. You don't need to be on one of our training programs. You just need to be here, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, because I've got a feed of everything that you're typing into your chat boxes on all platforms coming right through to me here. And that means that we can help you with whatever you're stuck with in your DJing. So you could be stuck with something to do with your gear. I've actually got the XDJ-AZ set up here. We're in the middle of filming our training tutorial about this unit now. So you could be wanting some help with standalone DJ gear like this. You could be wanting some help with your music collection. You could be wanting some help with mixing or performing, or where you go from there in your DJing, whether it's mixtapes or live streaming, playing in clubs, whatever it is that you're dreaming of. We're here to help, so do ask away. Lots going on in the world of DJing as well in the last few weeks. It's been a little while since we've done one of these actually. For some reason it got dropped off our schedule on Thursday just gone, which is when we would normally have done it. So we thought we'd do it today in this slot so we don't miss out on this. Being the last one of 2024, I did mean to bring my Christmas hat, my Santa Claus hat, but unfortunately it just slipped my mind as I was leaving home today. Very sad. Right, so what has been going on in the world of DJ? Maybe it'd be a good idea to have a little look at that. So over on the website, we've covered most of the stuff you need to know about. So Algorithm has just won Microsoft App of the Year, and you might think Algorithm is an Apple-based DJ platform. Well, think again. Also, we've got USB drives for DJs. We've been talking about this little device here. I've actually got it currently plugged into the unit that I'm making the training tutorial about. A new little USB from DJ Tech Tools. It's kind of made of metal. It's got both USB-C and USB-A. It's nice and fast. But this kind of, they sent me one of these and I like it. I've been using it, but this got us talking about USBs recently, whether a USB drive or an SSD or maybe even an SD card is the right way to go for moving your music, or indeed whether you should bother at all, because nowadays units like this can talk to the library on your computer without you needing to export to USB. And they can even do it wirelessly, which is actually pretty cool. So we've been talking about that, and maybe you want to talk about that as well. So Virtual DJ, that's what this story here is about, have launched a stem swap sampler, and stem swap sampler is a little bit like the groove circuit on the Alpha Theta, what's it called? The Groove 6. I was going to say Flex 6, but that was the one before. Yeah, so their new controller has got this kind of, you can swap out the drums for other drums that have been sampled using the stems sampler on Alpha Theta's controller. And Virtual DJ have done something quite similar as well. So that's something that you might want to talk about. And what else have we got? Well, more stems actually. The Denon DJ gear, the Prime 4, and now I think as of now, if not now, then it'll be tomorrow. But I think it might have actually already happened. You can now get stems on all engine hardware, and so there's videos for all of this stuff, by the way, on our YouTube channel. So do head over there to have a look at this stuff if you want to just watch it. But if you want to talk about it, well, we're here to do that. Apart from all that, told you we've been busy. We've got the Digital DJ Tips Global DJ Census. It's our annual survey of DJs that is in December every year, where we ask you questions about your DJing, the kind of music you play, the gear you use, your aspirations, whether you do live streaming, whether you produce music, and so on. And it's really interesting to take. It's fun to see the results. Everyone who enters it will get the results given to them by us as a special PDF full of graphs and charts and diagrams and cool stuff. But, you know, anywhere between 10 and 20,000 people typically fill in this survey every year. So it gives us a really good snapshot of the community, what we're into, what problems we're facing, the gear we like, the gear we don't like, the new features that have grabbed us, the ones that we're a bit meh about. So do take part in it. We will let you know when it's ready. It's going to be within a few days of now. As I was coming in here to present this, I glanced over at some of the team's computers and they were preparing the Global DJ Census 2025. So do come and take that. If you're a member of Digital DJ Tips, then in your email inbox, you will receive a email and that will tell you that it's open and that you can enter. If you're not, head to digitaldjtips.com and click join at the top here. Fill in this space here with your email address and you too could enter. And it's worth doing it because there's quite a big prize pool. So what we do is we team up with the biggest names in this game every year who partner with us, especially for this census. We pick names from across the spread so that it keeps it all independent. And this year we got some really good prizes. So got one of these, not only one of these, but speakers and headphones with it as well. A complete XDJ-AZ set to give away. But if you're a Denon DJ fan, we've got a similar setup, but with a Prime 4. If you don't like standalone units, you prefer controllers, well, we've got a Rev 7 from Alpha Theta Pioneer DJ, and we've also got a Rain Performer system to give away. These are complete systems, by the way. They're not just the unit, they're either speakers or headphones or sometimes both. Well worth having. And because VR is the thing right now, and because our tutor Layback Luke designed this wonderful little unit, the Mixtor Pro, we've talked to Reloop and we've talked to Algorithm, and we've put together a great package of one of these alongside Algorithm's Meta Quest 3, which has got the ability to use this in a hybrid system. You get virtual decks and you get a real mixer. It's pretty cool. And also a year's subscription to Algorithm's DJ apps as another prize. And as if that wasn't enough, we have for the first time ever put together a really cool package of our training. It's called Access All Areas. And the lucky winner of this will get every single digital DJ tips course alongside a year's subscription to our digital DJ lab program, plus admission to our student hub and student live and all the other perks of being a digital DJ tips student. It's worth a cool $8,000. So these are all good reasons to enter our census, and the census begins in just a few days. Again, if you're not a member, head to Digital DJ Tips, click the join button, fill in your email address and become a member now so that you can take part in all of that and have a chance to win not only the biggest prizes, but also enter the biggest census by far of our fantastic community. Right, so what do you want to talk about? I've just given you a whole pile of ideas. And what I do now, for those of you that don't know, is just pull in the laptop, take a deep breath, and have a look. Have a look what you're talking about. What are you saying, people? Hello to all of our usual first 10 people to say hello. And it's always the same 10 people, and I do like that. You're always waiting. To Kesha and Don and Mike and Eric and Keith. Hello to Mixmaster John Roback, Mixmaster G, of course, to Baynard, to I Am Preacher Man, and to Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Hello to Ian. Ian's actually got the first question, so thank you for that, Ian. Ian says, I feel like 16 gigabytes, is it gigabytes or gigabits? It's gigabytes, isn't it? Of RAM is not enough these days, especially with stems. Do you agree? How powerful should your laptop be? This is an M1 Apple Mac, and I don't even know how much RAM this one has got. Let's have a look. This has just got 8 gigabytes of RAM. And is it enough? It's a good question. This one struggles a bit with stems, especially on Recordbox, because Recordbox says you need 16. So there's an interesting kind of journey that we've had to get to here. You know, traditionally, until the last 2 or 3 years, you didn't really need a very powerful laptop to DJ with. The laptop basically had to run a glorified version of Winamp. Remember Winamp? It just had to be able to play a couple of music files and do a couple of other things. And so any laptop would basically work for DJ software. But DJ software's got more and more complicated. Even so, until relatively recently, you know, if your laptop was 3, 4, 5 years old, you'd be okay. Not anymore. And the reason for that, as is correctly identified by Ian, is real-time stems, the ability to press a button and to separate the vocals from the drums, from the melodies, from the bass lines of a track instantly. You need an awful lot of processor power to do that. That's why the best way of using stems, in my humble opinion, is to actually do it beforehand and then just play the files. We're getting into a whole new area here, which we won't get into today. But if you want that real-time instant stems, then you do need to have a powerful computer. Not only RAM, which is basically the amount of memory that the computer's got to play with, so it can very, very quickly do things without having to use the hard drive. But also you need a fast processor and a GPU as well sometimes. So you've got two processors inside a computer, the CPU and the GPU. As far as you need to know, the more powerful, the better. So yes, it's true that 16, I would say, is a minimum. We've actually just revised, this is our gear guide. So this comes out, this is another thing we're working on at the moment. We're busy. This comes out every year, and this is our current recommendations, like our top 5 controllers for Traktor and Serato and Rekordbox and Algorithms DJ. It's got our favorite speakers. It's got our advice on which kind of DJ gear to go for, all that kind of stuff. This is free to you when you sign up, by the way, for Digital DJ Tips. Another reason to sign up. But we're just working on the new one, right? We're working on the one that replaces this. It's nearly out of date, this. And so in that guide, our current recommendation is indeed what Ian says, 16 gigabytes is right nowadays, because it means that you're future-proofing yourself, really. But also, for the first time for a long time, spending quite a lot of money on your laptop if you're going to DJ from the laptop. If you're going to use a standalone piece of equipment like this, it doesn't need a laptop, right? No laptop, bye-bye laptop. If you're going to use something like this, it really doesn't matter, because this does all the work, right? So anything standalone, anything that's got a USB drive in it, anything that doesn't need the laptop with you to work, who cares? Use anything you've got. But if you're actually DJing with a controller and your laptop is there, your laptop is running the software, it's doing the clever stuff, then yes, it's worth having a powerful one, and you're quite right there, Ian. Hello to the Rockers, hello to Sarah, hello to Mixmaster G. I've already said hello to you presumptively, but then you're now here, so hello, now you're here. Jay says, is there any chance that using pre-analysed stems will come to the XDJ-AZ? In other words, just like has just happened with Den and DJ. Because it's not possible on board. Yeah, it's not possible on board, but I'm curious whether this will come. I don't know. To be frank with you, Alpha Theta / Pioneer DJ are pretty bad at updating the firmware in their hardware. Even though their modern hardware, like this unit here, has got the ability for them to send over-the-air updates and or at least to send you an update that you can then put into it to make the unit do more than it had installed at the factory, they don't seem to do it. Whereas people like Engine DJ, which powers Algorithm and Numark Mix Stream, sorry, not Algorithm, Engine DJ powers Den and DJ and Numark Mix Stream hardware. They push their stuff into them, like it seems to be like every few weeks there's a new update with something new and exciting. They don't tend to do that, Alpha Theta. So in truth, I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath for it to come to the AZ. Maybe it will, who knows? But, you know, buy gear that does what you want now. Don't expect stuff to come around the corner. You know, that even affects brands that are quite good at this stuff. For instance, Engine DJ said that the Prime 4 Plus would have stems, and it didn't. They kind of arrived, they weren't very good, and they took them away again before they reached the production software, and then nothing was heard for over a year. And then they finally came out with it, but it was very different. So don't expect things that are being promised to you. Get the gear that does what you want today, I would say, is the key thing here. I'm a Preacher Man seems to have this and says, I'm loving it. So good to hear that. I'm a Preacher Man. And another person who's just got one of these, Rabbite on Twitch, says, hi Phil, I just got it and I will have some time to play with it later today. Oh, you really have just got it, haven't you? Any insight on what to do first, aside from updating the firmware? Any insight on what to do first? So I'm in the middle of filming a training tutorial on this. So if you don't know about our training tutorials, you can actually go to the bottom go to our homepage on our website. In fact, I'll show you. Why don't I show you? If you go to the bottom of our homepage, you will see free gear tutorials. If you click on there, you'll see that we've got these training tutorials for a lot of the most popular DJ gear. Not everything, but a lot of the most popular DJ gear. Now, these are not just a silly little YouTube video with me blabbering on about what I think of it. These are like 2 hour, sometimes, always more than an hour, full tutorials on absolutely every feature. Think of them as a video manual of all this gear. And we produce these when we think a piece of gear is going to be major, right? We can't do it for everything, but we are in the middle of making one for this, right? So that's going to be dropping hopefully sometime in the middle of next week when I've finished filming it. You know, I always get pulled in different directions, but I am hoping to have it finished, certainly before Christmas. So do look out for that. But what would I recommend that you do next? Just use it, just start to explore it. Definitely update the firmware. Make sure you're using the correct version, the latest version of rekordbox on your hardware. I would say, looking at it now, what have I been enjoying? Explore the new library features. There's a lot of new little tweaks they've got in the library. If you haven't used the previewing, so on this unit here, you can tap the waveforms and preview them in your headphones, which is cool. If you've got a little bit of extra money, it might be fun, because down here, just off the camera, here, is a little button. And that little button will connect you wirelessly to the XDJ F10 headphones. If you've got a bit more money, why don't you buy a pair of those? It is pretty cool having wireless headphones and just walking around with the music sounding no delay, no Bluetooth delay or anything, just exactly like it is coming out the speakers. Totally unnecessary, but quite cool. So if you're still feeling like you've got money in the bank after buying this, you've got more money in the bank than me if you are, then that might be some fun. But honestly, you're going to have an awful lot of fun with it. Yeah, look back. Hopefully that tutorial will give you a lot of ideas as well, because like I say, I'm only just about 20 minutes into it. But like I say, they normally go to about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So there's a lot more for me to do. Right, so this next one is from Mixmaster G, who is just helpful as ever, to Ian, who was asking the question about computer power, and said yes, on Mac, a modern Mac with 16 gigabytes. Why am I suddenly confused? I know the difference. Is going to be fine for DJ software. Thank you for sharing that. Right, this is from Mike on Facebook, who says, "Hi Phil, I just want to say thank you so much for your help and support in 2024. I've learned a lot and I will continue to be learning. As you know, I have struggled this year a bit and I find it hard to keep up with momentum." Well, if we're helping to just jog you along in the right direction, Mike, then I hope we're doing our job. That's what we're here for. We're here to teach, but we're also here to coach, right? This is a hobby, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's just something that we can just fall into and everything goes our way. If it was like that, it wouldn't be so interesting, right? If life was like that, it wouldn't be so interesting, without getting too deep, right? Just because we want to do something and just because we're committed to it, it doesn't mean it's always easy. That's just the way it is. So if we can help you in any way, and if we have helped you, then I'm very glad. So thanks very much, Mike. It matters to us to hear stuff like that. This is from Frederick, who says, "I wish I was a DJ." There you go, Mike, you're one ahead of Frederick. And I wish I could participate and maybe get my first system in this giveaway. Well, you can participate. You don't have to be a DJ. We're here to teach you DJing, right? So go to Digital DJ Tips, click join, put your email address in and enter. And look, you can take the survey. You just answer don't know for the questions that you don't apply to you. Get yourself in there. You never know, you might win it. All the systems we're giving away are pro systems. They're systems that are way more than you need as a beginner. As I always say, if you're a beginner, you don't need to go any further than our current beginner recommendation, which is this. It's the Alpha Theta DDJ Flex 4. It's actually Pioneer DJ, I think, but all the same company. The Flex 4. This is 300. It comes with great software. It's, as long as you've got a laptop that can run the software, so what have we said, 16 gigabytes of data of memory, then you're good to go. One of these is all you need to start. And you don't really need a 16 gigabyte laptop. The one you've got will do. It just means that some of the features might be a bit stuttery. This is enough for you to learn everything. This has got more on it than the record decks that I learned on, times about 1,000, right? You know, they say that the modern mobile phone has got like 100 times or 1,000 times more processor power than the computer that landed man on the moon. Well, that's how I feel talking about turntables compared to little pieces of gear like this. You don't need more than this to learn to DJ, trust me. And the beauty about that is that when you do know what you want to buy next, you won't waste your money, right? Because if you buy something like this or something like this, it might be absolutely not what you need, because you might go off DJ, which should be terrible. You've spent thousands. But also, these are both very different. This is different to this, but that's different to that and that and that and that. There's lots of ways of DJing, and so until you've been doing it for a while, you might as well not spend more than 200 or 300 on a basic piece of gear, and then learn the direction you want to go in next. Bit of advice there to new DJs. Right, so hello to Andy, who says, "Hey Phil, great prizes." Yeah, I think we've done quite well this year. Thank you as ever to the companies that ceaselessly support us, our school and our Census every year. Of course, they get to see the results and it helps them plan what you want. So it's another reason to enter. So DJ2AM on YouTube says, "Hi Phil, I hope you're doing well. I used to watch your content a while back, but then I got into action photography. And now I'm a photographer for my friend's football team. So, well, I'm glad you're back here for one time only then. And I hope the photography is going well. It's all creative. I often think, actually, photography is one of my hobbies. And I often think if I was reading a photography magazine or looking at a photography website or tuning into YouTube for a photography tutorial, what would I want to hear? What would I want someone to teach me? And I kind of spin it around into DJing, right? And then I kind of like say, okay, so I'll do something like that for our DJ community. Whatever you're learning creatively, photography, production, DJing, painting, whatever, it's all creative. And at the end of the day, I think the mixture that you need of coaching and teaching is pretty similar. So I find the whole idea of teaching all this stuff quite fascinating. I'm a student as well. Like I'm literally a student. I'm signed up on a university course. I study photography, you know, so I've kind of like got one foot in the teaching camp and one foot in the student camp at all times. And I hope it keeps our training fresh and it keeps my head full of ways I can help you guys. You're the best judges of that, of course. Right, so this is from Andre on YouTube who says, "I'd love you guys to do a video about useful MIDI remapping configurations. I personally remapped my Rain 1's deck contour knob to be an a cappella stroke instrumental knob." What a good idea, Andre. Yeah, that is a good idea. We do talk about mappings in our software courses. So if you don't know about our software courses, we have courses for the big 3 platforms. So Traktor, Serato and Rekordbox. So you can go, in fact, the best place to find them is just on the homepage. You just go to the homepage and scroll down. You will see at some point quite soon the software courses. Here they are: Rekordbox, Serato and Traktor. And we also have a course on making mixtapes which uses Ableton Live. So these courses do talk about mapping a bit. I wouldn't say they share lots of mappings. I don't know if they still do it actually, but DJ Tech Tools used to have like a mappings database of different mappings. I'm sure it's still there, tucked away on their website somewhere. Maybe go and have a look at that. Maybe that'd be a good place to start digging for cool mappings. But yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, when I was literally just starting digital DJing, like in 2004, I got sent a controller by Hercules, and it was, I can't remember what it's called, the Remix, I think. It was terrible. I mean, it was really, really bad. You used to press the buttons here, and it would make the jog wheel do something because it was all like one piece of rubber membrane underneath and stuff. Oh, it was a horrible controller. It's about that big as well. And so I ended up ditching the controller and putting a really, really good sound card on my laptop, and then just mapping the whole keyboard. So what I did was have like one half of the keyboard. So imagine this is my laptop back then. I had one half, I literally divided the keyboard down the middle, and I had one half controlling the first deck and one half controlling the second deck. And I had 2 keys for nudge on each side. I had all my cues and loops on each side. I had tempo up and tempo down. If I held shift and tempo up and tempo down, it went quickly, and play and pause and all this stuff. And I could DJ fine from just the laptop on my own mapping. I shared that custom mapping with so many people. Wish I hadn't done that. I shared that custom mapping with so many people over the years, and yes, I used to love mapping. So mapping's cool. Yeah, maybe we will do some more mapping in the future. This is from Edu over on YouTube. What are some of your most highly rated technical DJs? I've always been a huge fan of DJ-AZ. So have I. In fact, in one of our courses somewhere, I think it's power mixing skills. I don't know. One of our mixing courses. I actually did a DJ-AZ routine, and it was fun. And he's a very technical DJ. Well, obviously, I've got a big admiration for James Hype because he's one of our tutors, and I've worked with him very, very closely over the years. DJ Angelo, another one of our tutors, extremely technical DJ. And I have to say to DJ Jazzy Jeff, because in a completely different way, Jeff is one of the most highly technical DJs going. If you look at some of Jeff's routines, like Scratch DJs have been trying to emulate him ever since, and he's been doing it since the mid-80s. So, you know, we tend to approach our favorite DJs and get them on our school. So yeah, there's a few names there that I think have got it. But I also used to love James Zabila, if anyone remembers James Zabila, he was kind of one of the pioneers of doing cool stuff on this kind of gear. And so, yeah, here's another name that I used to like back in the day. I don't know what James is doing nowadays, actually. So this is from David, who says, I've got no problem with stems on my M1 Mac. You don't say how much memory you've got there though, David, but thank you for sharing that. So this is from Daniel, who says, do you think the XDJ-RR, which was a very early version of the kind of unit we're looking at here, do you think the XDJ-RR is a good controller upgrade for me next year? A good upgrade for me next year? I'm a DJ producer with 12 years experience, so I just want to know what you think. I currently have the Terminal Mix 4. So you've got a controller and you want something standalone. The RR is very old now. It still does what it does. So remember what I was saying earlier, don't expect to get features that something can't handle. So if you like it and you like what it does, then on the one hand, then it shouldn't be an issue buying it. On the other hand, it's very old. And the problem with old gear and Alpha Theta is that they tend to fall off the end of the, timeline and get forgotten about. There's people who've bought gear that's a lot newer than your unit that are finding it doesn't work with the current version of Rekordbox, for instance. So in my kind of like best advice, I would say you're better off going for the more current, it costs you more, of course, but the more current version. So I'd say the RX3, which is considerably more money, but it's going to be relevant for many, many years to come. So actually over the years, it will be a much better investment. So the XDJ-RX3, I think would be your best bet. If you want to go with something standalone, you don't have to, but it sounds like you do. So that's what I would go for there, Daniel. So do you think standalone will take over, says Charlie on Facebook? And please tell us the story about the after party in the Bishop's Garden. All right, I'll do both of these things. Sing It's Christmas. So, no, I don't think standalone will take over. So for those of you that are watching this and don't really know what we're talking about, these are standalone because you don't need a laptop. Put those with a mixer, you're DJing without a laptop, right? This is standalone. It's different because it's all in one. So you've got the 2 decks and you've got this here, but it's still standalone. And so anything that doesn't need to have a laptop in order for you to DJ from is standalone. Will it take over? No, there'll always be this. 2 reasons. One, some people want the latest. The latest will come to software before it comes to hardware, always, because it's easier for software developers to put new features into software and just to map them onto a controller. A controller is basically a glorified keyboard, than it is for someone to design and build a new piece of hardware just to control new stuff. Plus, to put the power inside the unit itself means the unit becomes more expensive. And so again, a laptop can do all kinds of things. And then all you need is something nice to control it with. So there'll always be room. But the second reason is scratch DJs prefer it. Scratch DJs prefer to have a laptop plugged into gear that works that way. There's no standalone equivalent to a decent pair of decks controlling Serato, basically. So no, in the foreseeable future, I don't see that happening. Also, most people, by quite a long margin, still use laptops, don't use standalone. Right? Standalone's great, but it's still a minority. I'd say the new census will tell us, but I'm going to guess 15%, around 15%, maybe 20 nowadays are using this kind of thing, but everyone else is still using laptops, so no. Now, the Bishop of Salford's back garden. What is Phil talking about? We actually talk about it in our book, which if you don't know about this is the book to buy if you want to just get into the whole world of DJing or you want to read something. It's a global bestseller. It's got the little Amazon badge, which we're very proud of. It is a best-selling book on how to DJ. You'll find it in all good bookshops, also on audiobook now and on Kindle, etc., etc. So this book here is our book about the 5 big steps of DJing and how to do it. And in here somewhere, I think it's what I'm talking about, you should always record your DJ sets, because only if you record your DJ sets will you find out what you really sound like. Not what you think you sound like at the party, but what you really sound like. So I think I mentioned in there that the very first proper club gig that we played, we promoted a night, me and my friends, got all our mates to come, we hired a venue and we played house music for the first time. Had a cassette deck hidden underneath the desk and we DJ'd and we kept turning the tapes over every 45 minutes and we recorded the whole thing. And on the way home, with our tapes in our hands saying, we just rocked it, let's go home and listen to them, we kind of got backtracked to an after party, which was in the Bishop of Salford's back garden in the outskirts of Manchester, where I'm from, which was awesome. Another friend had set up some decks and had a big open fire, and it was literally in some land on the Bishop of Salford's like patch. For all we know, he was asleep in his house, but it's a big piece of land. And we had a rave basically in some woodland, in a clearing with a fire and a big cauldron of punch, and as you do, and we partied until dawn, and only then did we go home. So our records came with us from the club to the rave in the woods and then home. They were the days, folks. They were the days. 1993. And then the whole story was that when we got home, we put the tapes in the cassette player and hit play and realised that we weren't anything like the heroes we thought we were. And actually, the mixes were pretty ropey. But hey, that mix, that cassette, those two cassettes became my Bible of improvement, if you like. I analysed them and said, how could I have done this better for a long time afterwards, until I was at a point where I was sure I was DJing far, far better than there. So always tape your mixes, and that's the story. There is more to that story, but this is a family show that also gets preserved on YouTube forever. So I'm watching what I'm saying. But thank you very much for asking. That's cool, Charlie. It is Christmas, so let's share some stories. Right, okay, let's grab another live question. By the way, if you have just tuned in, we are live. It's me, Phil, here in the studio with our final Q&A of 2024. We're talking about anything you want to talk about. I'm here to answer your questions, whatever they may be. They're all coming through live on my feed here. Here you see, there's me and there's the feed. So ask away. I'll try my hardest to get to as many of you as I can. What's your favorite professional controller for DJ Pro? Says Matt Swindler. I'm thinking about the SC Live 4. No, if you're gonna DJ with Algorithm's DJ Pro, my favorite professional controller is the Mixon 8 Pro from Reloop. The SC Live 4 is not a good choice because it doesn't make good use of the screen, and you're buying something that wasn't really designed to control software as its main purpose. It was designed as a standalone. So I'd say the Mixon 8 Pro from Reloop is your best bet if you want a nice big controller for Algorithm's software. So this is from Justin, who says, thank you for all your help in 2024. I learned so much, and I've even had a couple of gigs. Who would have thought that at the beginning of 2024? Well done to you. That's what we want to hear, Justin. That's what makes it all worthwhile. So happy Christmas, and hope you have even more gigs and more success in 2025. So this is from... trying to find one that isn't you guys talking to each other, which is great, by the way. Thank you for being such a chatty and helpful bunch to each other. This is from I Am Preacher Man, who says, I've got this, as you told us earlier, but I'm only using it currently in standalone mode, which of course is what it was made for. When do you think it's going to work with Serato? They promised Serato, but when's it going to work with it? Well, I've got good news for you, because if it's not right now, it's like literally some point today. An email dropped into my inbox very, very shortly before I left the office to come here to present this in the studio from Serato saying, good news, the latest version of Serato brings compatibility with the XDJ-AZ. So go and update your Serato and you might just find that it's working fine with, update your Serato and it's working fine with this unit. Right, this is from RPA on YouTube. If you have a 2019, lots of discussion about MacBooks, 2019 MacBook Pro, don't update beyond Ventura. It will run very slow and the graphics on Rekordbox will lag and the waveforms will lag. So there we go. I think, to be quite frank, you need a ARM Mac. In other words, an M something, M1, M2, M3, etc. Mac nowadays for running the best features on DJ software if you've gone down that route. We're at the point now where the Intel Macs are starting to look very long in the tooth and will probably cause you problems, as you are identifying here. Right, so we are going to answer maybe 2 or 3 more questions, and I've got to shoot, folks. Things to do, people to see. So let's get this one from Shugmeister, who says, what's the best controller you would recommend for a video DJ? Thank you. Well, the thing with video DJing is that it's become complicated. There's different ways of doing it, right? So my advice would be to go for something that works well with virtual DJ. Now, if you go to the Digital DJ Tips website, which we're going to do together now, and go to the top and click on the little, let's get rid of the sign up box, click on the little magnifying glass there and type virtual DJ controllers. Then you'll find that one of the first things that come up is our 5 best controllers. Now this is about to be updated for 2025, but this is still up to date. And this is our picks of what works particularly well with virtual DJ. Any of these would be good. And the reason they'd be good is that, in my opinion, virtual DJ is the best software that's got integrated video DJing. Serato has fallen way behind the pack. It's like, for all kinds of reasons, it's not good. But virtual DJ has kind of kept up to speed. So you can play MP4s and so on virtual DJ, and it does a good job of it. And so these controllers here will give you a nice control surface where you can also use software that will let you DJ with video files and visuals and so on. As an all-in-one system, I think that's probably the way to go. If you just want to control lighting, then any engine DJ unit will be good because they've got sound switch integrated, which is a great way of controlling lighting. But you specifically mentioned video DJing there, so I'm going to assume that that's going to be a better bet for you. If anyone's got any more advice, by the way, on that, please do share. Because I'd be interested to know what you're using if you're a video DJ. It's not something I do very much, right? This is where you get a chance to jump in and help. So the comment came in from Shogmeister on YouTube. So if you're on our YouTube chat right now, go help out there. By the way, you can ask questions if you're watching the replay of this on Facebook or YouTube. We always keep an eye on the comments. They will always get answered if we can. So if you are watching the replay, just ask away as if you were live, and we'll get back to you. Right, so one or two more then. This is from Matt on YouTube, who's talking about controllers. And Matt says, I wanted to get the Hercules T7, which is, it's a standalone controller that's got motorized decks, right? It's a Serato controller with motorized decks. So on the face of it, it looks like pretty good value, but you've got to buy Serato and build quality is not perfect. Matt says, the inputs are a deal breaker for me. I need multiple ins and outs, and so it wasn't a good option. Right, so this is a personal view. I think the mid-range controllers, right? So you've got your beginner controllers. We already looked at one. They are what they say on the tin. They're beginner controllers. They have limited features. They've got limited build quality. They're generally reliable. They do what they do, but they don't have lots of inputs, don't have lots of outputs. The build quality is just a piece of plastic. They're reliable. They're good. They'll control the software, which is the main thing you want. Remember, a good laptop is better than a good controller in that respect. You get all the features, but they're not pretending to be anything they're not. And then above that, you get the pro gear. So the pro gear is when you're spending thousands on something like this. You know, full 4 channels, proper build quality, loads and loads of inputs and outputs, so you can do all you want with it, etc., etc., etc. You know, great screens on them and stuff. Standalone, they'll also work with software, etc., etc., etc. Or even stuff like this, right? The price of a small car. But this has got everything you could possibly want on it. My problem is that the stuff in the middle tends to make too many compromises. And when you're in a position to spend 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 on DJ gear, you kind of don't want those compromises. It could be compromises in the inputs or the outputs or the build quality or silly things they've left off, or you've got to pay extra for the software, etc., etc., etc. So for some reason, I've yet to be convinced that the best way of going about this hobby isn't to buy cheap, as we said earlier, and then save up and buy expensive. In other words, 3 figures at the beginning, 4 figures later. The stuff that tries to be in the middle, you know, the stuff that costs 600, 700, it just, to me, makes too many compromises, and people kind of get seduced by the idea, but then they realize they've got to pay extra for the software, or just can't quite do what they want, and so on. I've yet to be convinced the best way of doing it isn't to just buy cheap and then buy expensive. You know, spend the years in between getting good at this hobby on the stuff that you bought first. Just my personal opinion there. Right, my final question from you guys today is from one of our regulars. Always nice to run on a regular. DJ Mike Marquez in New York, I seem to remember. Mike, good to have you back. Yes, here we go. Greetings from New York City. Maybe I subliminally saw that. I didn't. I did like to think I'd remember where you're from there, Mike. Anyway, great job this year. Thank you very much. Two things. One, I just used DJ Pro, Algorithms DJ Pro, to make a disco mix. The beat gridding is the best in the game. Amazing. I agree completely. The beat gridding is called fluid beat gridding. An algorithm, in fact, just won an award. That Microsoft just gave them an award for being the best app as far as AI goes. We've actually got the story written up currently on Digital DJ Tips. You can go read about it over there. And the reason they got this award was for the fluid beat gridding. So basically what they've done is kill beat gridding. They've killed it. If you use their software, you don't have to worry about it. Just load the songs and play. If you hit the sync button, it's going to work. If the song slows down and speeds up, and that's the master deck, your whole mix will slow down and speed up in time. If you don't want it to slow down and speed up, you want something else to be the master deck, switch to that. It will hold the track that moves around in time with the one that doesn't. You've got two disco songs like Mike had, just load them up, hit sync, they'll work. It's mind-blowing. You don't have to do any manual beat gridding anymore, right? 99 times out of 100. It works with everything. Old disco songs, rock songs, it guesses where the first beat is, it gets it right every time. It's awesome. They really, really have smashed it. They've used AI to wipe out the whole idea of manual beat gridding, and it's awesome. I was with Jazzy Jeff 2 weeks ago. We were filming our new course that's coming out in the end of January. And Jeff's like, Phil, have you seen this? Have you seen this fluid beat gridding on Algorithm? It's amazing. This is one of the best scratch DJs in the world. This is one of the DJs that can put tracks on 2 decks and keep them in time just by sliding these around, right? Not even turning the deck off and nudging it a bit and turning it on again. He can just hear them and ride the faders. And Jeff said to me, that fluid beat gridding is something else. It really is. So I'm glad you spotted that, Mike. I agree. It's a great feature that they've added. So the other half of Mike's question is any updates to the dance music production course? Yes, we have. We've just added some updates to the dance music production course around music, around knowing your music theory, writing bass lines, writing melodies, understanding chords a bit better and progressions. Go check those out. They should be in there now, Mike. If they're not in there now, they will be very soon, but I'm pretty sure they've just been added. I think it's 4 or 5 new lessons that Joey made just a couple of months ago. So go and take a look at those. And if you've got any suggestions as to things you want us to add, we're all ears as ever. People, if you are a student of Digital DJ Tips, that is if you are a course owner, then do come and join me because we've got a special inside track this Thursday where we're looking back on the year in DJing. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be recorded for the podcast and you'll get to ask questions. So do come and join me. As always, it's inside your course owner's student group, student hub, and it's at the usual time, the time that this one started, 4 p.m. London, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'd love to see as many of you there as possible. If you're not a student of Digital DJ Tips, treat yourself to a course. We've got lots to choose from, as you know, and you can find them all over on the courses page on the Digital DJ Tips website. Buy one now and you could be with me on Thursday. And apart from that, we've got a couple more live shows next week. We've got another Tuesday live show, which will be public, so you can join us on these platforms. It will be our last one of the year. Not sure what it'll be about yet, but we'll see. And we'll also have a student live for you course owners next Thursday as well. So you course owners have got 2 more private shows to come and join. And student live will be really good because we'll just do this but in a smaller group so we can dive deeper in your questions and make sure you all get answered. But apart from that, if you're not a student, thank you for being here. I will see you on the other side. Do have a great festive season. Do enjoy your Christmas. Do enjoy your New Year. If you're playing gigs, stay safe and have fun. If you're out partying, then enjoy yourselves. And if you're just putting your feet up, I don't blame you. I'll see you in 2025. Until then, get good, get out there and make the moments. Bye-bye for now.